Hello, my name is Nafisa Tadeniro, and in this video, I'll be talking about how to conduct a score booster classroom. So in the course of the video, I'll be guided by the following outlines. The first one is teaching methods, second one is categories of teaching methods, followed by score booster and student-centered learning, and finally, role of teachers in the classroom. So to start with, teaching methods refers to the general rule and management strategies used for classroom instructions or used for conducting a classroom. There are various categories of teaching methods, but the two major ones are teacher-centered learning and student-centered learning. So under the teacher-centered learning, this is also called the traditional method of learning. In a type of classroom that operates a teacher-centered learning, teachers are the main authorities, and by that I mean teachers are the only one that is actively involved in the learning process. Teachers are the only ones that is telling the students what to do and how to do it. Teachers have a specific way they want their students to understand a certain topic that is being taught. So in a teacher-centered classroom, students are viewed as empty vessels that need to be filled up with knowledge. That is, they have nothing to contribute. It is the teachers that would tell them what to do and how to go about it alone. Also, in a teacher-centered classroom, learning is measured through scored tests and assessments. At the end of the day, after the teacher is done with the teaching process, he or she would pass across assignments, or later he or she would conduct a test or an examination to measure the students' learning on various topics that has been taught. But in a student-centered classroom, both teachers and students are actively involved in the learning process. Both the teachers and students have things to bring to the table. The teachers doesn't compel the students to have a specific way of understanding a topic. So the teacher's primary role in a student-centered classroom is to coach and facilitate students' learning and comprehension of materials. And learning can be measured through both formal and informal means. Since both the teachers and students are involved in the learning process, through the learning process, the teachers would have been able to have an assessment of the students' understanding on a certain topic that is being taught. So if you would agree with me, majority of us had a background of the teacher-centered classroom. The type of learning we had then was basically the teacher-centered classroom, where the teachers would come to class, tell us what to do, teach us a certain topic, and at the end of the day, we would be given assignments, tests, and examination based on what we've been taught. There is nothing we are contributing to the classroom. So this has really affected some of the skills that we need to have built right from the onset. So majority of us that have those kind of skills today, it is either through self-work or majorly it is usually through self-work. So, but the type of teaching process ScoreBooster has adopted is the student-centered learning. If you would agree with me, nowadays majority of the kids that we have out there have access to the internet. Majority of them are already aware of how to use technology. They can operate a system, they can operate a phone. So why not use all these things to help in their learning process? So the major method ScoreBooster would be using to conduct a student a student-centered classroom is through the flipped classroom. And what do I mean by that? Flipped classroom is used to deliver learning materials or instructional content outside the classroom. That is, you don't have to get to the classroom before you introduce a certain topic to the students. Through the use of flipped classroom, you would have delivered certain materials to your students before you meet in classroom. So he or she would have gone through the material, understand the material to a certain extent, such that when you meet in classroom, the topic won't be new to the student. He or she would have had time to go over the content of the materials that you've sent, and he or she would have understand certain things in the materials. So basically, what you are going to do in the classroom is to have discussions on the learning materials that you've sent to the students. So you can see the difference here. Coming to the classroom under the teacher-centered learning, the teachers will be the one that would introduce the topic, teach the topic, and expect the students to have understood the topic in that class. But under the student-centered learning, the students would have had the opportunity of going through the learning materials, studying on his or her own, and understanding the content of the material. So when you meet in class, what you want to do is to have a discussion on the topic. So with this, you would see that both the teacher and the student would have something to contribute to the topic. It won't be the teacher alone that will be talking in the classroom and the students will just be listening. Both the teachers and students would have something to say on the topic. So there are certain tools that are being used for the implementation of the flipped classroom. The first one is study.com, followed by Google Classroom, and then Zoom. So to use the study.com, what you need to do is to have received an invitation to join the classroom. Then after joining the classroom, after receiving the invitation, what you will do next is to click on the join classroom link, and from there you would see a page that would ask you to enter the classroom code, and after entering the classroom code, you will be asked to create a free study.com account by providing your full name, email address, and password. So on the study.com, you would have access to materials for the classroom that you've been invited to join. So if you've created an account under the study.com, this is how your dashboard is going to look like. So under your dashboard, you have recent activity and the study tools. Under the study tools, we have classrooms and assignments. So under the classroom, this is where you are going to see the classrooms that you've joined, and under the assignment is where you are going to have access to the materials. So both the teachers and students have access to study.com. So in conducting a classroom, you would ask your students to come to study.com, view certain videos and understand the videos before you meet in the next class. So your meeting point is on Zoom. And how do you use Zoom? To use the Zoom app, what you need to do is to first of all download the app. Then after downloading the app, you're going to use the invite link or code that is being sent to you to join a scheduled meeting with your student. So this is what the Zoom app looks like. You have new meeting, join, schedule, and share screen. So for example, now if you already have a link to join a classroom or you have a code, what you need to do is to click on the link button here, and after clicking on the link button, this is what you are going to have. That is, you input the meeting ID or personal link name here. So this is a list of my scheduled meetings. And for example, let's say I want to join the ScoreBooster classroom. The Score SSC classroom. I would just click on the link and it will bring the code here. Then I can easily click on join to join the scheduled meeting. Okay, so to be able to hear your students and also for your students to be able to hear you, after joining the classroom, you have to click on join with computer audio. So clicking on this would ensure that both you and your students can hear each other. So under the share button, if you click on share, this is what you are going to have. You have your screen, whiteboard, and other options. So the two major things you'll be needing are screen and whiteboard. You're going to be using whiteboard for if you have anything to type. Click on text and then you can easily type whatever you want to type here, and the students will be seeing it from his or her own end. But if what you want to share is already on your system and you don't need to type, then what you need to do is to stop this share and click on the share button here and select screen. So by selecting screen, you can easily go to where you have the material on your system, such that your students would also be seeing the material on his or her screen. So basically that is how to use the Zoom app for your scheduled meetings. So in a student-centered classroom, the major roles of teachers is to, one, foster learning independence. And by fostering learning independence, what I mean is that if you already cultivate an habit of independence in your students, he or she won't be expecting the teacher to tell him all the time what needs to be done or what he or she needs to do. Also, teacher needs to act as a support person. That is, you have to be seen by your student as a guide, not someone that would come to class and spoon feed them on everything that is needed to be done. So your students should see you as a guide, and also you should reduce the telling. You should reduce telling the students what to do. You should allow your students to also have a way of how they want to go about their learning process. Also, you should encourage students to ask questions. It is when you encourage students to ask questions that the students would be able to think wide on what is being taught, and by doing this would improve certain skills in the students. This would improve the communication skills of the students. So now you can see that the student-centered classroom is not only after what is being taught in the classroom, it's not only after the content of the classroom, but also what the students would need outside the classroom, and part of that is communication skills. So you should be able to help your students in developing his or her communication skills, and the students can develop his or her communication skills by learning how to ask questions. Also, the role of a teacher in the student-centered classroom is to teach creativity and critical thinking by asking open-ended questions and the why questions. So for example, if you ask a student certain questions about a topic, okay, what is the meaning of this? After the student has provided his or her answer, you should follow up that answer by asking the why questions. That is, why have you provided this answer? Why did you say this? Why did you say that? Or how did you arrive at this? How did you arrive at that? So with this, the student will be able to think widely, and he or she would be developing creativity and critical thinking skills. Also, you should provide feedback to your students. And what I mean here is that whenever your student has done well, you should be very quick in providing feedbacks. That you should be very quick in providing negative feedbacks, and you should be careful how you're going to give negative feedbacks, because this kind of feedbacks that are negative can reduce the motivation of students in learning. So you should be quick to provide a positive feedback and know how to present a negative feedback. So that would be all on how to conduct a ScoreBooster classroom. Thank you for listening.